Thank you for that very kind introduction. It is such a pleasure for me to be here with all of you, talking about looking for the good. And as I speak this, I want to thank and acknowledge the goodness that is already here, that the world of spirit provides for us, that the goodness that each of you brings to this time together. Can I see a show of hands of anyone here who at any time in their life looked for the good and praised it? Well, all right. Now, how about this morning or today? Did any of us look for the good and praise it? And I'm willing to bet every one of us looked for the good and praised it today, because we knew coming to this service we would be in a place of great goodness. And so we did that, and we actually praised it very audibly by when Paige performed that beautiful solo. We praised it, yes? Yeah, and that was part of the wonderful goodness that this entire experience is a part of. So, since we're all so adept at looking for the good and praising it, why am I excited to talk about it? Because I've been doing it for a long time. Many years is a long time for me. And I then was given the opportunity to actually speak with all of you about it. And so I thought, in this time period of about a month or a little bit more, I want to really kind of ponder what is looking for the good and praise it. What are the blessings? What's going on? What's going on that I don't know, but if I open myself to, I may experience? And so I have 4 areas of, I think, discovery or insight to share with you, and then a special fun thing to do at the very end. So, to begin with, why are we encouraged in the first place to look for the good and praise it? Because we have past training, because we have egos, and we have the outside world saying, not that good. No, kind of negative. Things are scary. Ego works with fear in us. So looking for the good helps us go beyond that. Focus on what goodness there is, the reality of goodness. So in my experience, I have started out at what I think about as kind of a basic level of looking for the good and praising it. I wake up every morning and with my fine dog buddy, go out looking for the good and praising it. Buddy, not so much looking for the good, he's sniffing for the good. But then that said to me, okay, Brian, should you be out there also sniffing for the good? Why not? Listening for the good, expanding. So we do this, and then what's wonderful about when I think of as a basic looking for the good is life honors my intention. I start out with that intention, and sometimes I have seen things that are spectacular and remarkable. One thing that comes to mind is one morning out by the ocean, there was a sunrise and there was a color that was stunningly beautiful. In fact, there was another person and we both were like, oh my goodness. What it was like this pink and magenta color over everything. The ocean turned this color. I mean, it was a phenomenon. And I said, wow. But the goodness is beyond the visual. The goodness is there and it's awaiting for us to discover. And every time I went out, there would be sometimes the spectacular visual and sometimes other things that I would look and say, even this is so good. So that was my basic. Going from the basic, I began to think about what might be done to really deepen the experience, And I hit upon preparing myself with intention and filling myself with love and gratitude and light before looking. And I felt by doing so, I was opening myself to a grander, more encompassing world of what is good. And I like to call that magnetizing myself. So as I did that, did miracles happen immediately where wild animals would gather around me at my feet and people would stop me and say, "What's your secret?" No. However, I did notice a more frequent sense of being at ease and fulfillment. So, deepening the experience. Number 2, how to extend this experience. So, it's intentions we have, if we don't sustain them, they kind of disappear, and then we are back to being our everyday who we are. But if we can remind ourselves maybe another time, so for instance, if we go out, let's say early morning, and then we have this wonderful experience and we feel goodness and we come back, then we may just find life comes and brings us to a different level where we're no longer so much looking for the goodness. How do we maintain that intention? It's a matter of intention, to maintain intention by repeating to yourself, or any other way reminding yourself, look for the good. Look for the good. So in this time period of preparing for this, I found myself more capable of doing that, because I've been saying, you're going to be giving this presentation, you need to be able to report back, is this going to be effective? And it's been effective, because I've found the days have been wonderful, more filled with good, and I'm more at ease. But I've also found myself having to, like in the middle of stuff that goes on, say, where's the goodness here? Where is the goodness? That is extension. Then I thought, 3, look within and personalize. So look for the good within me, and then look for the good within everyone else. And my experience was, I will tell you, I started to look for the good within, and I felt some resistance and discomfort. So I worked with that, because I realized I had background in I Love Me and that training, which was really helpful. And I also felt the encouragement to be of acceptance and to see what was going on, and then to love myself, to look for the good in myself, so that then I could do that with others. I'm a work in progress, in process, as we all are. So looking within was another way of making this looking for the good more expansive. Rather than looking out there, we're looking within and within others. And then I hit upon what may be the big recognition and insight, and that is my definition of good too narrow? Is it too confined? Have I a filter that has said only these things that are pleasing and lovely are good? Or is there so much more good that I am potentially missing out on by maintaining this restrictive view? And the answer is yes. Because when we think about it, we realize life is for us. We realize there is a loving source. There is this divine influence and for our life here. And everything that takes place in our lives and we experience, we asked for. We know we needed these experiences because we are here to learn and grow. These things that we might not really appreciate or want at the moment we first have to greet these things. Maybe it's something that's a disappointment. Maybe it's pain, emotional or physical. But we then take a moment to see this experience is something we've asked for because we want to learn and grow. And that's good. And so I realized as I expand this, I then can embrace more of what goes on without reacting in a way where I'm saying it's not good. Thank you all for being such wonderful participants. It's so easy for me to look for the good within you and see it and rejoice. And this is true of our lives. And a big, big thank you to Sumi and to Paige for putting the time in so that she could be an enormous blessing to all of us. Thank you so much, Paige. And thank you all.